Hello everyone, this is Suraj, and today we are covering the complete Claude Code training course. And in these hours of hands-on learning design, to take you from the part of zero to Anthropic's AI development, in fact, zero to production ready with the Anthropic's Claude Code AI development tools. This isn't just a slideshow course where you'll be listening and then doing. Every section has labs, real code base in the Python, JavaScript, and Java. And at the end of this session, you will be leaving with working experience. Let me come up with this. Yeah, you'll be leaving with the working experience, just not the theory. So here is what we will cover today. The, of course, the foundation, the part of the, sorry, foundation installation. Inside the foundation, you will be covering the installation, pricing, and three operations mode. With the core productivity, it's a code. We'll be exploring the code part and then test the same, git versioning, refactoring, customization. Claude MD, how do you customize this? Why you have to have the part of the hooks, custom commands, skills, plugin. In the advanced AI, you will be having the extended thinking, how to increase it with part of integration, multi-agent integration, CI/CD, VS Code extension, and management, cost monitoring, context. When you give the permissions, the best practices, of course, for the part of the skills plugin, Claude MD, and the this part. Okay. So we have the repository, and I'll be sharing you in the description here. And any questions before we start, let me know it. We'll go and mute for 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah. So what is Claude Code? Claude Code is from the company Anthropic, a command line AI tool designed specifically on for the development work. You might have used ChatGPT, Grok, other Perplexity, and this Claude Code is specific for the development work. It understands your entire code base, not just the file that you open. Let me show you with yes. Will understand your whole code base, your whole project, rather than just some files or bunch of files. It will understand your architecture, it will understand your dependency. So, what makes it different from the ChatGPT or Copilot? You have Codex, Copilot, and other things, right? How Cloud Code is different. It runs natively in your terminal. I'll show you with IDE. Here, you can see that it is running. If I increase this one, yes. Currently, I have hit the command as code. Yeah, Claude. When this command is hit and I press 1, you're able to run the Claude code in the terminal. Until now, if you have experience with the vibe coding, vibe engineering with my last courses, if you have completed it, you might have seen the different stages, how we keep the codex, Claude, and other plugins here, open router, right? And here, the difference in the Claude code is that it works on the terminal. You can work as in plugin here. As I have it here directly, it will open and then you can have an interaction, but you will be missing many of the features like the plugin or hooks and other things which we will uh, understand what are the advantages, how it will fasten up your development process. Okay. So six key capabilities, which you can see here is the command line interface, which I have shown you with the natural language. You can speak in English or change the language. and asked to develop your project with some features, some complex features. It is context aware. It understands, it scans your whole project. Okay, you have three operations mode, which we'll cover in the next slide. Multi-language support, with language server protocol intelligence, Git native Git integration, and highly extensible through the plugins. Yeah. Plugin skills, you'll understand what is the difference between the plugin skill, hook, and of course the MCP server. Okay. On the pricing side, this matters for the teams. Pro at $20 per month gives you roughly, I think, 10 to 40 prompts per 5 hour window. That's Sonnet 6.4.6 only. Max 5 times at $100 per month jumps to 50 to 1000, 50 to 100. Yep, 100 prompts, and you'll get Opus 4.6 access. Max 20 times at this is 200 per month is for the heavy user doing extensive all day session. The critical fact is the session resets every 5 hours, and Opus uses 5 times more credit than the Sonnet per request. Plan your intensive development very. You can go ahead with multiple hours of intense work daily with 5 max. Okay. Installation is a single. How can you install? Just go to the VS Code and hit this. If you're on the Mac or the Windows, use the native binary installations also, not the old NPM package, which is deprecated, with the curl command, and create the project from the scratch. So, one warning: Windows user, Claude Code requires WSL. Native window is not supported. If you're on the Windows, install WSL2 first, then run the install is inside WSL. Now you can see you have something called operation modes. This is very fundamental on how you work with the Claude. Okay. Command mode, which is like the interactive conversation, type naturally, Claude response, ask follow-up questions, work collaboratively. This is where most people start. Auto accept, you can actually inside this one, you can uh, inside the terminal, you can hit Shift Tab. Shift Tab will give you the auto accept. Here, currently, you are on the manual mode. You can go on the accept edit on. I'm hitting the Shift Tab, plan mode, auto mode, manual mode. So, what are these? These are command mode, auto accept mode, plan mode, right? So, inside the plan mode, Claude presents a complete implementation plan. You review the strategies, modify if it is needed, start of the project for the architectural, and then approve before a single file is touched. This is my recommendation for any of the complex changes. If you're taking the project from the scratch, or if you're taking any project from the mid and adding some of the features, go into the plan mode and it will analyze these dependencies, all the code end to end, how you read the project, how your brain reads the project, it will understand. And then for the architectural diagram, for to make changes in the architectural, all the planning mode, you can use it. Okay. You have two more keyboard shortcuts, that is Alt plus P, and that is the Option plus P on the Mac, switches between the Sonnet and Opus mid conversation, and Alt T toggles the extended T thinking. So inside, when you are inside this one, you can use this particular Claude Code shortcut keys, which I will be sharing you as a PDF file with all the shortcuts, which says which particular agent it is using, what kind of mode it is. Okay, my default recommendation, every start every session in the command mode, switch to the plan mode before complex multi-file changes. Only use auto accept dangerously when you are confident and have it clean Git state to rollback. So in the lab one, you'll be learning about how to install the Cloud Code, verify it is working, navigate to the particular directory in our training repository, which will take just the 5 minutes. Okay, then coming ahead to the core productivity, daily development superpowers. Yes, code exploration inside your project. Ask about any part of the code base in the plain English. Reference specific file with an sign at the rate of particular path, give it to the file. And let's take example in our IDE, analyze the user service class. Let me hit here, you can go ahead, and I'm in not in the auto accept. I should be in the plan mode, or in the plan mode I'll be doing the particular planning itself, manual mode at the rate of, and then you can actually give a reference to any of the file, and you can ask any of the question like analyze this particular class, and in for that for a particular file in the particular auth service at the rate of auth service, and you can select it like this with a- arrow and ask your question. Okay, so you can ask like analyze the user service class or authorization service class. Next question could be write any of the annotation. How does at the rate of pom.xml configure in this particular node or Spring Boot? Now trace the authentication flow from login to JWT. You can directly ask this question and it will generate it. Claude reads and understands this all files, then explains them in the context, whatever question that you ask. You can generate the test cases. So for your project, you can generate that. This is like remarkably good because Claude understands your specific business logic, not just generic patterns. Say, create a unit test case for the auth service, which I have shown you, or add test case for the error scenarios in the payment processor. It generates the test files, set up your appropriate mock stubs, all the edge cases. It covers all the edge cases you might miss. Now, even refactoring, you take the project, refactor end to end, it will do multi-file operations with a smart context. You rename a variable across the entire code base, upgrade from a deprecated application programming interface, REST APIs, convert the callback patterns to asynchronous, await, extract command code into the shared utilities, and yep, Claude tracks all the ripple effects. You do ask anything to refactor, whatever the dependencies, wherever the extra file names, dependencies, those particular variables, functions, classes, or the framework, third-party framework also gets changed. That's the ripple effect. Git integration, commit these changes with the appropriate message automatically, and Claude writes a professional commit message based on what you have actually changed. Like create a pull request for this feature, and it generates the PR description. I have a merge conflict you asked for the user service. Help me resolve it, and Claude will explain both versions and recommend the solution. You will see multi-tool workflow, like Claude can run multiple tools simultaneously. If you say check the Git status, the difference, and look at the recent commits, and add in parallel, yep, Claude executes all the three concurrently. And in my opinion, explicitly saying in parallel is a meaningful speed optimization for the complex analysis. Then you have of course, the documentation part. Generate inline comments, README files, API documentation from the scratch as the architectural decision records, all in the context of your actual code. And debugging, I'll show you directly. Yeah. And you have the part of inside the debugging. Yeah, documentation, paste and error. And here in this session, lab 2, will have the hands-on to open the lab 2 Java project, ask the Claude to explain the custom repository class, generate the test cases, write a commit message, and then you can notice how specifically and accurately the output is at your actual project, actual code. Okay, any questions? Let me know. Yeah, debugging part, you can do the part after multi-tool workflow and the code generation. Important, very specific to the customization to your project, or if you have used other agents, other vibe coding tools, here in the Claude code, Claude MD file is the holy grail. Okay, with respect to your project as well as to your tokens consumption. In my opinion, with the token consumption, Claude MD is the single most important customization for the team. It's a like MD file, markdown file that gives the Claude persistent context about your project, things that you need to know that aren't obvious from the. It's like let's take for example here. You will see. Will surely have it. Yeah, Claude.md. This is a markup file, right? And this contains all your project views, what does the backend has, what commands to use, front end, backend details. It's like any, as you scan this project, you will see what's the front end, back end, what are the other files. In the same way, when Claude is running, it doesn't have to actually scan all the code, consume the whole 30,000 tokens, and then understand what is it project. Once a Claude MD file is there, it comes to this Claude MD file, it understands what's the front end, back end, what are the things at the framework level, architectural important points, and then you have some things that you need to keep uh, telling the Claude when it starts scanning at the start or in the mid. Okay. Three locations, Claude MD on project, root you have to keep it, is committed to the Git and shared with the team. This holds the project-wide rules like your, as I've shown, the architectural decisions, coding standards, this MD file, forbidden pattern, which file to avoid modifying, and you can actually keep it in two places, one in your local in your laptop or desktop or the server where it is you're running it. I think not in the server, but development happens in the local. So this MD file you can keep it at the project level, particular single projects, or in your C drive that will act. Okay. And it will be present inside this user account, and it's your personal preference. Things like you can say always use British spelling, or I prefer verbose explanation. You can keep your rules in a directory for organizing rules by topic. This is great for the larger team. Okay, quick way to add the rule. State any message. Let's you will be adding the rules, right? For any of the projects, you might be working on multiple project, or any of the project that you work on, you'll be adding these rules. And you want to say that start any of the message with hash, and Claude saves it in the memory, or type slash memory to edit it directly. Then you have custom slash commands are the shortcuts for the common workflow. Create a file in this particular .claude at the project level or at your local level with a markdown description of what command does. That particular you want to only do a prettier to the code. Then you can save it as a slash custom slash command. It becomes the slash command, and when you hit it, it does that particular action. Okay. Hooks are event-driven automation shell scripts that run when the Claude performs certain actions, like key patterns, like when you do the security validation, hook into a pre-tool use for edit operation to run your own validation scripts. If it is like output a non-zero exit code, the edit is blocked and Claude sees your message error. Auto formatting, yep, you can do with different events, auto formatting, session logging. with this workflow automation. Okay, in the new version 2.1, 5 additional hook events have come with respect to session management, workflow management, security validations. You have got as the config change, teammate idle, task completed, work tree, which you'll be doing hands-on in our lab. Okay, so create a Claude Code MD with your top 5 coding standards and one custom command for your top common workflow. Add it as an identifier patterns to identify this particular pattern. Okay, we'll be doing the hands-on in the practicals. Yeah. LSP code intelligence. So Claude code integrates with the language server protocol, which means it has a ID level understanding. Go to the definition, find all the references in your project, hover type information, call hierarchy. This isn't a text search, it's a semantic code navigation in across your entire workspace. You have the output style, which are underused and very powerful with respect to the developers, whomever I have met. But built in, it's like explanatory mode in the verbose. I think it's with yes, yes, it's verbose and with detailed reasoning. Great for learning. Learning mode adds teaching explanation step by step. You can create custom styles going into your local laptop Claude output styles for local Claude in the particular output styles here. And then you can add, for example, a production style that terses and code only. Launch with the command Claude hyphen hyphen output style learning. Okay. And then you can, yeah, conversation resume that particular conversation. You can hit with the command like Claude hyphen hyphen continue, resumes the most recent session instantaneously. And this command shows an interactive picker with up to 50 recent sessions, including the timestamp. Full history, original mode, and settings are all preserved. I use this constantly to start a feature on the Monday, pick it up on the Wednesday, right wherever I have left. Then you have this particular image support, Jupyter. You're working with the images, drag and drop the screenshots into the terminal or paste it with the shortcut key Control V, paste it a screenshot of UI bug, and Claude will know it from the visuals. Drop in the wireframe mockup, and Claude will generate the CSS, HTML, JavaScript, or you take a photo of the whiteboard architecture and get code generated. This is genuinely useful. It's not a gimmick. Then you have the Jupyter Notebook. Claude reads this IPYNB files with full cell output, including data visualization. It can edit these particular individual cells with the notebook edits, which is tool inside it. Convert this notebook to clean production Python scripts. Basically, data scientist, this means you are exploring notebooks can be turned into a production ready code without manual key. Miss anything? Yeah, key bindings. Key bindings like run this slash key binding to open the JSON editor at your home key binding.json, remap any key, submit, new line, thinking, toggle, model switch, set your chat new line to shift enter if you want to enter to submit, shift enter for a new line, and then you can change the key bindings. So this is the output style image but LSPs. Skills and puggling. Sorry, I'll have some water. Yeah. Skills and plugins. These are the advanced extensibility. Skills are like they are modular capability package that gives this Claude persistence, dominant expertise. You can think of them as a specialist mode, like activate the Excel. Claude Code knows how to build a professional spreadsheet with formulas and chat. Activate the PDF skills. and it generates a formatted report. Okay. The three-tier loading system designed is for efficiency. You have the tier one here. Uh, then you have tier two, tier three. Tier one is with metadata, which you'll be learning end to end, like in this persistent mode. Metadata, which is always loaded, just the skill name and one line description, about 100 tokens, always in the context. Claude knows what skill exists. Second is the instruction. You'll be doing a skills.md, skill.md with full procedure example and mainly the domain knowledge. It will load when you ask for something that the skill can handle. Then you have the resources, the reference files, templates, scripts. This will only load when you need it for a specific task. Okay. So for built-in agent skills, you have, which I have said, you just know with the Excel, Word, PowerPoint, you can make it. Just ask, create a report spreadsheet with sales by region. The Excel skill activates automatically, skills hot reload. You can edit the skills instructions. Then you can go ahead with the plugin. These plugins were introduced in the version second and team-wide expense, you can share it. A plugin bundles the custom slash commands, the agent with definition, the hook configuration, MCP servers and output styles, all in a single like a plugin package. You can make this plugin install this, enable, disable, and you can have it on the market space at the hands-on level we'll be seeing. And at here we'll be doing the lab 3, which will create a simple custom skill for your project. We'll create it at .claude skills retriever with a skill.md file that defines how to review the code for your team, specific standards, and test it by asking the Claude to review a file. And then you have the extended thinking, where you have I have shown you the plan mode, auto mode, and then of course the sub agents. So in the extended thinking is like a Claude reasoning through a problem deeply before answering. It's like showing its work. You have the COT, and then you have this extended thinking. You see the reasoning as italic gray text in the response. It's slower and uses more token, but for hard architectural questioning, the quality improvement is significant. Three ways to activate it: use the toggle Alt T for your current session, add the word think to any of this prompt, and for example, like think about the best architecture for this authentication system in your project, or you can add the keyword think harder for deeper analysis. And you can also have ultra think for maximum depth. Use this for the hardest design problems. For I In my opinion, for the architectural decisions, security analysis, complex algorithm design, trade-off evaluations, you do not need this for a simple code generation. Extended thinking. You have, if you go for the shift tab plus tab, you'll go in the plan mode to activate that. And Claude presents a complex, no, I'll say complete implementation for the plan. What file it will create or modify, and in which order and why it is doing. You'll see the full strategy before a single file is touched. You can modify the plan in a plain English. If you want to change, then approve. Nothing executes until you say yes. And then you have the plan mode, uses the plan sub agent only. You have the option of sub agents are like the specialist agents Claude launches automatically. You do not manage them. Claude decides when to use them. You explore the sub agents, this part, and then testing sub agent, planning sub agent. You have the next slide. Yes, agent teams giving the background and handoff. Yeah, agent team are the research preview feature. Anthropic's vision for how complex software work gets done with the AI. A lead agent coordinates multiple teammate agent, each working on their own piece of their own context window. It's like the distributed application. And how it works, you describe a large task, the lead agent breaks down into a subtask with dependencies, assigning the ownership, teammate agents take the task, they finish the previous ones. The lead tracks the progress, resolve dependencies, and integrates the result. So team agent is like a genuine parallel AI development with multiple agent writing the code and generating the test cases. You can have it here. So I warning part is that team agent teams is a research preview. The behavior may change between the releases. Use it on a non-critical work first to understand how it behaves in your environment. And then you have the workstation isolation. Hit it with the command Claude hyphen W or Claude hyphen work tree. Creates a separate Git work tree and branch which is isolated where Claude can make changes without touching your working tree. When the agent finishes, Claude prompts you to merge or discard the working tree. This is how you run parallel feature without actually creating the branches inside your Git. And then you have Claude, not Claude, it is Cloud handoff. Prefix with the task at the rate ampersand, sorry. To send it out on the Anthropic's cloud infrastructure, your terminal stays free while the cloud handles the long running work. This is perfect for like large project refactor, comprehensive documentation generation, or anything that will block your terminal for 10 or more minutes. Then you have session management also. You can use it like rename my feature to name the current session. Use the command Claude hyphen hyphen from PR123 to resume the work on the specific pull request with the full context. And you can use slash fork to branch a conversation, explore one approach in one fork, a different approach in another without losing both of them. And then at the last, you can do is Claude hyphen hyphen resume to pick up from your last 50 sessions. You can the combination of the working tree isolation, background agents is the key for fearless like parallel development. One feature per working tree, agent working independently. You review, you're reviewing and then merging when ready, or maybe you can use that particular skill or something. Yep. MCP. MCP, Model Context Protocol, it's like a standard protocol for connecting Claude to any external systems like your database, APIs, services, browser, internal tools of your company. So it's like think of this like a plugin system for the external connection, but standardized across all the AI tools. If you are already having a Claude desktop with the MCP server configured, then the fastest setup is like you can have it on the Claude MCP list. It will give you all the thing. You can add individual servers, which will be doing hands-on in your practicals. And then you should have 5 known MCPs, which are like GitHub MCP, Context 7, Docker for Dockerization, testing, and for the deployment and the management, app deployment, Heroku MCP. You have MCP tool search, and which we'll be doing in the lab 4 at the context 7 MCP server and test it. You'll be asking the Claude to write code using the library you use, but prefix the prompt with the keyword like use context 7 to get the latest doc first. And then you will notice how the generated code uses current API patterns. Claude Code SDK, CI/CD. So you have the three SDK for embedding Claude Code into your own tools and pipelines. That's a command line SDK, the simplest integration. Use Claude in the shell script, markup file, CI/CD pipeline, TypeScript SDK. It's like asynchronous streaming with the full control over it, over the conversation. And then you have the Python SDK. It's the same capability, but it's like a Python native asynchronous. CI/CD integration, the most popular use case is automated code review on every pull request in the GitHub Actions run with particular this command here, which will pass the JSON output, post the results on the PR comments, pre-commit hooks using allowed if you go it in this way. And then you have the VS Code extension, which is in the beta version. Search for the Claude Code in the extension marketplace, which I've shown you in the start of the this particular session of how I'm using it as a plugin on the sidebar where you can ask questions, reference with the files at the rate of, view the differences and approve the changes without leaving the VS Code into the GitHub. All these features are available like the skills, MCP, custom commands in the VS Code extension. In honest assessment, I have seen it's good, but go ahead with the terminal, which is a primary experience with the fullest feature set. This extension is best for the developer who strongly prefers staying in the IDE. And in this session with the Lab 5, you will be doing hands-on like write a simple CI script using the SDK, CLI SDK that reviews changed files, and then you will try it with a simple sample different diff from the lab repo. Okay, then you have the important token cost, context, permissions, best practices. Just go through it. You can stop this video and it's self-explanatory. You have the quick references and the links here. Any questions, just connect and then we'll have it cleared. And in your hands-on session, we'll be doing it end to end. And then you will be the person who can develop any of the product, any of the software, SaaS service, web application, not like serially making the code and others, but you can have your skills or you can have your plugins, one for as a developer, one of the skill or plugin working as tester, which will complete its task, test, and then give you the actual output. Thank you.